Arg! As I entered my room, I slumped and let out a tired sigh. So Mother's here. Wonderful. She's made it through the country again.
Oh, come now, ma'am, you should be happy!
Yes, so very happy that my leech of a mother has returned. Oh, joyous fucking day. I walked to my bed and sat down, feeling exhaustion take over my body like a gust of wind. I thought of the suitor. He was polite, but was he really? He seemed young and bright, and it seemed like a good idea to try and be with him. It would indeed make my mother happy. On the other hand, I still liked Sebastian. He kept me enthralled in his spell, and I didn't know how to proceed with him. Mother would never approve, but I couldn't deny my feelings so easily. I looked to my window. Life's not fair, is it? We've gone in a big loop.
You keep saying that, miss. If you keep looking at it like that, you'll never get oranges.
Sophie, you're fucking... But what can I do? My eyes travelled down, wanting to land in my lap. I don't know where that would be. However, my gaze stopped at an envelope stuck in the window. Huh? What is this? I stood and walked to the window, taking out the envelope and opening it. I took out the parchment and read it out loud. The girl puts on the red hood. Bishop to King K. Again, another riddle. What was going on?
A riddle? The glass slipper bit talks about Little Red Riding Hood, but the second part talks about chess again.
Am I the bishop? This makes no sense.
Ooh, maybe it's a sign. Someone's telling you to,
I don't think so, Sophie. Was I sure, though? This note and the last were connected somehow, but I didn't want to blindly follow their messages. I guess I'll just wait for another one. If another one appears, I'll try to sort this out. Something in my gut was telling me that these messages were meant to tell me what to do. Were they about Isaac? Or were they about Sebastian? I felt tired just thinking about it. I gently fell back onto my bed, uncaring if my dress was still on, and let my eyes close naturally.
Ma'am, shouldn't you...
Shut up, Sophie.
Okay, ma'am. Have a good rest.
Fuck you. I listened as Sophie left the room, leaving me alone. I kept my eyes shut, letting my exhaustion take hold of me and bring me to a world of sleep. I didn't mind that the corset binding me limited my breath. I felt at peace resting in my bed. I didn't even open my eyes until hours later, when the sun was down. I sat up, wincing at the squeeze that my corset had on me. I looked around and realized, now that the star and night sky were out, I had missed dinner, predictably. I missed eating. What am I going to do? As I asked myself that question, I looked to my desk where a plate cover with a small tray cover sat. I stood and walked over, opening it to reveal a plate of food. Sophie, I will have to thank her when she returns. I smiled and was about to sit to eat, but something at the window caught my eye. Huh? I walked over and peered out the window to see Sebastian walking around the house away from my window. Sebastian? It was odd for him to be outside this late, let alone at all. He never really went outside unless someone needed to be escorted in. Why was he outside now? I quickly rushed to my dresser, but before I touched the knob I stopped and stared at my hand. Was this a good idea, sneaking out late at night to see what my butler was doing? I bit my lip, remembering the note I had received before I fell asleep. The girl puts on the red hood. What was the note talking about? Your dress, maybe? No, that's... It was silly to believe, but it was almost frightening how accurate it was in the situation I was about to go into. It's like not at all accurate, girl. No, I was unsure. Should I follow? Fine. Fine. I nodded to myself. I want to know. I took the knob and opened the dresser, taking out my night shawl and covering my shoulders with it. I closed the dresser and quickly snuck out of my room. It was quiet in the house, which both irked me and made me feel relieved. As long as I remained quiet, I'd not be found. I quickly tiptoed my way to the front, opened the door, and snuck out towards the direction Sebastian was heading. The gravel underneath my shoes cracked and shuffled, making me wince with each step. I didn't want to find out that I was following him and watching. I didn't want him to find out that I was following him and watching. Well, I didn't succeed.
My lady?
Well, I mean that says... I froze, staring at the corner I was about to turn. How did he know it was me?
I know it's you. Come on out.
Oh, he sounds pissed. I peeked around the corner to see him carrying a lantern and staring in my direction. How did you know it was me?
I can recognize your perfume and powder, my lady.
Oh, right. That. There was no use in sneaking. I quickly walked over to him and looked up at his dimly lit face, unsure of what to say now that I was caught.
What are you doing out here?
Well, I woke up a bit. We're just gonna tell him the truth. We're not even gonna try to lie. Okay. Well, I woke up a bit ago and I saw you wandering around outside my window.
I see.
I didn't know if he was going to send me back inside or lecture me. I felt a little uneasy. My nerves were calmed, however, at a smile.
You are so silly.
Aww. His hand gently placed itself on my head, running along my hair. I felt myself blush in embarrassment. I looked at my feet in response. As Sebastian laughed, I gritted my teeth.
Why do I have to adore you?
Okay. That statement made me stop pressing my teeth together. I looked up in surprise at him. What?
It's the truth, my lady. I truly adore you. I sometimes wish I was born a noble so that I could woo you.
The blush on my face intensified. He liked me back? It was too good to be true. Unfortunately, it really was too good.
Sadly, I am just your butler.
My heart deflated into a heavy weight in my chest. He wasn't going to fight for me? This felt wrong. This is a pretty good solution. But I feel like he would be more... He wants to stick to social constructs. So, we're gonna go ahead and play the game. Sadly, I felt the sting of my heart consume my body. I wanted him to fight for me. I wanted him to take me away. Obviously, that was not going to happen, as much as I prayed it to. I looked at Sebastian, who gave me a simple, sad look.
My lady, I'm sorry. I will forever be your humble servant if you should have me.
I could only nod, unable to speak in fear of crying. Was my happily ever after not meant to be a fairy tale ending? I could only think of the answer, yes. Eventually, Sebastian took me back inside and went to bed, crying silent tears into my pillow, and I went back to bed, oh for fuck's sake. The next morning, I was dressed and presented to Isaac. To my surprise, my mother had arranged a marriage between him and me, apparently overnight. Isaac, in private, made it clear that he didn't wish to intrude on my life and, should I want lovers, I was allowed to have them. I didn't have any lovers, nor did I want any besides for the one I couldn't have. Isaac tried his best to keep me happy, but I knew I could never be as whole as I wanted to be. I was in love with a pauper while living the life of a princess. The oranges I wanted weren't available to me. Ending, the girl gets trapped in the glass case. Knight takes bishop. Fuck. We have to keep going, don't we? I feel like we have to keep going. We don't have much of a choice. Yeah, we might have to keep going with this. Alright. Now we're back here, and it's playing the... Okay, good. Now we're back here, and I'm gonna see what happens if we try to break social constructs, okay? I'm not super confident about this, but it's the only thing I can think of that would change the ending immediately. Be my lover, then. Sebastian stared at me wide-eyed, trying to comprehend what I had just exclaimed.
What did you say?
Be my lover. Okay, help me. Okay. Be my lover, Sebastian. If you can't be my husband, be the man I hold for the rest of my life. I couldn't believe what was coming out of my mouth. Neither did Sebastian.
But... I mean, my lady,
Shh, just call me Holly. I felt assertive as I gently leaned up and cupped Sebastian's face in my hands. It was now or never. I leaned in and gently placed a tender kiss on Sebastian's lips, feeling sparks go off in my chest. To my surprise, Sebastian didn't recoil and shout rape. Instead, Sebastian wrapped his arms around me and held me in the kiss, making my heart lift up again. He loved me. He really did love me. As we pulled away, Sebastian stared deep into my eyes and held me tightly.
I will happily be both your servant and your lover, if you will have me as such.
I felt myself not in elation. Finally, my love could be realized. The next morning, I was dressed and presented to Isaac. To my surprise, my mother had overnight arranged a marriage between him and me. Isaac, in private, made it clear that he didn't wish to intrude on my life, and, should I want lovers, I was allowed to have them. I told him of Sebastian, and Isaac smiled, happy to know that I was happy, and that he'd have a reliable butler in his family now. Okay. I was happy that I could be with Sebastian without having to ruin Isaac's or my mother's lives. It worked out well in the end. If you think so, really. I was able to get oranges and lemons. Ending, the girl chooses the prince and the pauper. Stalemate. Well. There has to be another one then. Like, oh my gosh. Alright, this is a warning. I'm shuffling all of the endings so that the good ending is the last one you guys see. I did the good ending first after getting the normal ending. And then... or the bad ending. I don't know. It was one of the bad endings. I did the normal ending, and then I think I did the good ending. Then I did some more, all of the bad endings. So I think I'm gonna shuffle it. That way, you guys get to experience happiness in the best form. My cat's playing with the ball. Okay, so you guys get to experience it a lot less shittily than I did. So, because this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be difficult to explain. No, see, I can't do that. I'll figure something out, okay? I'll figure something out, because you can't do that. just be awful. No, I shook my head. I didn't have to know. I stepped away from the dresser and sighed. That was probably my one chance to see Sebastian. It was quiet in the house, which both irked me and made me feel relieved. I was calm beyond anything. I felt ready to handle everything. The next morning, I was dressed by Sophie and brought before Isaac. To my surprise, my mother had arranged a marriage between him and me. Sebastian stood at my mother's side, watching as I was proposed to by Isaac. I had to say yes. My mother's eyes forced me to say yes. At last, my mother received the marriage for me that she wanted. I was finally going to be a woman. I looked at Sebastian, knowing that my romantic advances no longer would happen now that I was to be a wife. Don't get me wrong, Isaac was a good man. He just didn't give that urgency to pursue his love. Our marriage was a business arrangement, one my mother perfected and desired. My life was full of lemons, ready for lemonade, but they were too bland to sell. Ending. The lady locks the girl in her tower. Queen takes bishop. Alright, now I'm gonna be wearing the white dress, so we're just gonna go with that.
Ooh, lovely choice, ma'am. Are you sure about the white one?
I'm sure. Sophie nodded and got out my white dress from the closet.
Let's get you cleaned up, ma'am. Then we'll get this dress on you.
Getting into dresses were a tiring process. Yada yada yada. Corset. Sophie, you're trying to kill me.
Just a little more, ma'am.
Yep, corsets were a pain. Dress. Yay, achievement. I stood in front of my large vanity mirror, checking out my dress. I smiled at my choice. It was a lovely dress with lace ribbons. I dared to think I looked like an angel in it. Sophie quickly found a white ribbon and tied it in my hair.
You look so lovely, ma'am. I'm jealous.
Thank you, Sophie. You're the best, you little bitch. Sophie smiled and bowed to me graciously. I turned back to the mirror and stared at myself a little longer, wondering what Sebastian would think of it. It wasn't sexy, but it was still elegant and mature. The sound of horses made me quickly look away from the mirror to look at my window. I rushed over and looked out to see a large carriage stopping in front of the house.
Who's that? I don't recognize the carriage.
It's fucking Isaac Newton. I can skip. Skip. Okay. Now we give him our hand. And then we skip again. My lady, if I may speak your mind, yeah? I turned to look at Sebastian. Oh, go ahead.
You look absolutely stunning in that dress.
Oh! I stared, suddenly turning red in the face at his compliment. He thought I looked stunning? I looked to the ground, unable to reply back. Sebastian cleared his throat and stood back at attention, awaiting me to give him orders or leave. Just my luck, however. And Mom arrives. I waited to see how she would respond. I wore white instead of red. Surely she would be happy.
No mistakes or loose flaps of cloth. Good.
I smiled at my mother. I did appreciate when I made her proud enough not to lecture me.
Now, can you explain to me why
Wait, what?
He looked to be your age.
Yeah, wait. I gotta check the darn... Hold on, I'm sorry. Do I still have it up? I did. Okay, good. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, good. Okay. Yes, mother. What? And then after this, it's like, yes, okay, well, whatever, okay. Fine. Were you followed? Huh? No, why? Sebastian looked behind me briefly before looking ahead of him and scanning the area with his eyes. After a small moment, he nodded and gently took my hand.
Come with me.
Woo! I suddenly found myself being led into the forest surrounding the house by the man I had come to adore. I didn't know if this was a dream or reality anymore. Where are you taking me?
Somewhere away from the mansion.
You're kidnapping me? I felt my heart beat faster in anxiousness. What were we going to do away from the house? I felt like skipping, but I didn't want to destroy the moment that was happening between us. At last we stopped in the middle of the woods. We couldn't even see the mansion. Where are we? To my surprise, Sebastian turned to me and gently caressed my cheek, looking deep into my eyes.
Somewhere where I can finally show you my true feelings.
Ooh! I stared at Sebastian in utter disbelief. His true feelings. What was he talking about? Sebastian gingerly ran his thumb over my cheek, gazing deep into my eyes.
I'm sorry. I can't hold in these feelings anymore. I am not fit to be your butler.
I'm so happy you're here. Sebastian! Despite him not saying what he meant, I knew exactly what he was trying to say. I felt my heart jump around in joy. But why now?
Your mother plans to arrange a marriage between you and Mr. Newport tomorrow when he visits. I overheard her on the phone with his father after you left the drawing room.
What? My mother was going to marry me off without telling me? But why?
My lady. No. My love. You are a beautiful young woman. You deserve to have a husband. You deserve to be loved.
Okay. Sebastian looked down at his feet in shame.
I thought by now my feelings for you would have waned. But apparently not.
Sebastian gently looked up at me with pleading eyes.
I don't want you to be with him. But I can't ask you to betray your mother. Not after all the times I've denied your romantic orders.
What were these romantic orders, anyway? This is the worst one. Are you ready? Okay. They shuffled a little bit, but it's okay. Okay, here we go. I don't know what to say. After so many years of denying me, why was he so open now? It was too good to be true. I couldn't take this. I stepped away from Sebastian, trying to regain my thoughts. This is too much. I need to think on this. The sad look on Sebastian's face could stop an army in their tracks. I felt my own heart break just staring into his eyes. Being with him was something I had always dreamt of. But was it worth it? My feelings were denied for years. He had his chance to claim me. I need to go. I quickly turned and ran back to the direction we came from, towards the mansion. My heart pleaded for me to return to him, but my mind continued to remind me of every denial he had given me through the years. Did he really want me to just accept him after going through so much denial? No, I couldn't accept him anymore. Tears ran down my cheeks as I returned to the mansion, not daring to look back at where I left Sebastian. I cried myself to sleep that night. That next morning, I was dressed by Sophie and brought before Isaac. I was told I was to be his wife, to which I could only say yes. Sebastian was nowhere to be found. A part of my heart died that morning, and I would never be the same again. Isaac was a good man, but he didn't make me feel whole. I was stuck with the lemons, never to have oranges. Ending. The girl unties her ribbon from her neck. Forfeit. I don't want to be with him. I want to be with you. No, I couldn't. I wouldn't. I was in love with Sebastian, and not even my mother could change that.
Why waste your attention on me, though?
Because I love you so much, Sebastian. You've always been kind to me, and you treat me so wonderfully. I guess I was in love with him. I didn't know much other than he was Butler. and his name was Sebastian, and he liked his necktie a lot. We knew which strings to pull, even when he knew which strings to pull, even when he wasn't trying.
My silly lady.
Gently, I could feel him tilt my head up to him, inviting the kiss I had dreamt to take from him. On its own, I could feel my shawl fall from my shoulders as our lips finally touched. I felt the parade of fireworks burst through my chest, making me feel giddy and joyful of his lips on mine. The one thing I desperately wanted from him, I finally had, and I was never going to let it go. As we pulled away from each other, smiling at the new bond we had, Sebastian took both of my hands and held them to his chest.
Run away with me.
I stared. What did he say? What?
Run away with me. I'm no longer fit to be a butler now, so I cannot return to that mansion. However, I want to be with you forever.
He continued to hold my hands, desperate not to let go, as he looked at me with hope.
Be with me. I can't give you a mansion or riches, but I promise to give you love for the rest of my days.
That's gonna get you far. I felt my heart sing. To be with him for the rest of my life was all I wanted in that moment. Yes, I'll go with you, Sebastian. Sebastian smiled widely before hugging me tightly, letting me hug him back just as tightly. I wanted to be with him forever. I didn't want our statuses to separate us anymore. Finally, I had a chance to get my oranges. God damn it. Ending. The girl marries her prince. Checkmate. Thanks for joining me with that. That was like 39 cents worth of material there. It's pretty good, I suppose. I mean, yeah. My name is Holly, and I am simply one hell of a Butler lover. Woo!